Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Tiger 131. It's a Tier 6 premium German heavy tank. It's located on the south dawn of Stips, and this one is under the command of JarJarDerps. And you know, I think there's a Star Wars connection in there somewhere. But he's got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. My God, he must love this tank. Game 1. Well, they built 1,347 Panzerkampfwagen 6. This is the Ausführung H version, 88mm gun, capable of 220 Alpha. With standard ammo, it's capable of 145mm pen, with the premium APCR 194mm pen, and with the HE rounds, it's 270 Alpha and 44mm pen. Okay, he spotted an enemy tank, a VK-2801-105. But he didn't stop to take a shot. It's actually rather important. He keeps on the move. This thing's only got a top speed of 40 kilometers now, which is not so great when it comes to a heavy tank, but it's around about average, you could say. Its armor, well, at the front is 100mm, sides 80, and the rear's 80 as well. So all round, it's actually quite a decent tank. But the thing is that this is the tank that most of the Allies feared during the war, because when this first thing appeared back in 1943, and of course this Tiger 131 was captured in 1943. When they first appeared, there was nothing in the Allies infantry that could actually take down one of these reliably. In fact, you had to use a lot of tanks to try and defeat them. And in fact, Tiger 131 wasn't defeated as such. It was captured intact because the explosives failed to go off to detonate it and blow it up. Yep, either they set the timer to the explosives and it failed to go, or they forgot to set the explosives and the tank was not destroyed by a self-detonation. Now, the armour is probably better when it's angled slightly. He's up against a box tank there, 13cm main gun, and he did get a hit for 257, which is a high roll. Oh, he meant to get the kill shot there, but he can get it next round, and yeah, does get it. What's so great about this tank is the reload speed. Standard reload, 6.71, but you can see that Jar Jar's got it down to 5.33. Oh, and the enemy Arty knows where he is. Enemy Arty in this game is an M44 and a Gorilla. Okay, moving on. He's got his first kill, and it's a good one as well, because the box tank is quite deadly, played at long range, but that guy allowed the enemy to get too close to him, and of course he got taken out by the fact that his gun only points one way, doesn't have a turret, so he couldn't try and turn to face Jar Jar. But now he's come up against a few enemy tanks, including a Covenanter at long range. Now that shell went right over the top of him. In fact, his turret keeps turning around. Kind of makes me think that he's an AFK. In fact, his turret's turning in all directions. Oh, he's trying to unload on us. No, so he isn't AFK. Ow! But that is the enemy RT, the M44. Now, he did fire a snapshot there. He should have let that dial in. With bouncing rounds coming from the Covenanter, and it looks like the Gorilla is actually firing from the other side of the battlefield. The M44 is now trying to get away because he realizes he's been compromised. And Jar Jar, well, he's changing direction because it looks like the enemy tank, the enemy force, has actually made it down to the south area, and they could actually take our cap, and it would be very difficult for us to seize it back. Gets one round into the VK-2801-105. It's a low roll. Gets another round in, a high roll this time, 226. Can he get a kill shot? Oh, no he didn't, but he tracked the guy. At least he got that, and this will be a kill shot. Got him. It's that 220 Alpha, it's actually quite useful. It's not quite as much as a 90mm gun, but it's certainly very handy. Now, there are 5 enemy tanks left on his team, and there are 10 left on the enemy team. He's badly outnumbered, and if he doesn't get back to his own cap soon, he could get out-capped. And I'm sure you realise that, yes, we wouldn't put up a a bad replay onto the channel. So obviously he does do something pretty spectacular in order to stop the enemy. Okay, you see a Skoda trying to outflank us. He's trying to come around the sides. He knows we've got to go. I mean, he's after the Jagdpanzer IV, but he knows we've got to go after the cap, and we have been spotted. Good all-round awareness, taking this tactical view, gets a reset on the Tiger 131 on the enemy team. He's going for that guy again, trying to get the engine bay or an Amarak. Yeah, the engine towards the rear and the Amarak is just underneath the turret. Didn't get that. Now, he ought to do one thing on this guy, yeah, and he gets one hit in, 254, which is a high roll. He needs to get more resets because they are almost complete. You've got to get those resets. And he puts another one into the Churchill 1. Potentially, he's got 20% of the enemy hit pool and now a high caliber. He takes down the enemy Tiger 131, but they are still capping with 2 in the cap. He puts another one into the Churchill to get a reset. And in all of this, he's been asked to platoon by one of his teammates. Oh, unfortunately, we just lost the gunner, but we've had to put him back in. Okay, the enemy Arty, the M44's turned up and he dies very quickly. So that's 5 kills. One more, he gets the top gun. Okay, it's a Stug that's in the cap area. He pulls back to just get the outline. No, didn't get it that time. Let it settle. Let it dial in. And no, he's not getting it. Is there something blocking that Stug? No, that's better. He got it this time. He got the reset. In fact, now we're capping at the other end. We don't really want someone to cap at the other end. We want to win this one now. We've managed to recover, so there were only 2 tanks down, and now he's facing a T1 heavy, and he takes him down with the next shot, and that's the top gun. Now, can he finish off this Stug? There's still 3 enemies. He could get a Radley's if he can win this one. Oh, he's still having trouble with that Stug, and I'm pretty sure the Stug is... Yeah, he's hiding behind the wreck, I think. Looks like he's hiding behind a wreck. That's how we're not hitting him. Yeah, there's a wreck in the way. Okay, that's better. He gets a corner of the Stug. He's using the wreck of the gorilla as mobile armor. Oh, and he takes him down with a clean shot to the cupola area. And that means there's only 2 enemies left. And oh, the Jackson who was capping at the other end gets killed by the TOG 2. And that means now it's 2 on 2. So they've still got... Oh, it wasn't the enemy's gorilla in the cap. It was our gorilla that was in the cap. So he's using one of our tanks as armor. Okay, the enemy gorilla is still in the game, but as far as we know, he's over on the west side of the battlefield, and we don't know where the TOG 2 is now, but he's loading the premium ammo. It's just him versus 2 enemy tanks. Now, the TOG 2 was armed with the 17 pounder. Well, in theory it was, according to Wargaming. In actual fact, according to historians, the TOG did not carry a 17 pounder gun. That was just a theory that it would actually carry a 17 pounder. After all, the TOG was quite an early tank in the war, because it was after First World War design, but the 17 pounder was a late design during the war. So it's unlikely it would have been fitted with a 17 pounder. But the 17 pounder can take down Tiger tanks. And oh, Arty's firing at us. Ow! We did get hit, but we got the Radley Waters by taking out the TOG 2. Now it's just a matter of finding and killing that enemy gorilla. Now he is slower than us, obviously. But now 8 kills in the game. The thing is, if he gets the kill, then the Jagdpanzer IV's asked for a platoon. He's got 3 kills. Now he can't get the brothers in arms, but he could get a crucial contribution. Because if he has 9 kills and the Jagdpanzer IV has 3, yep, that's 12 kills together. And in fact, he could platoon and offer a platoon to somebody else who hasn't got enough or is already dead, and let them get a free medal. That would be really nice. So I recommend that he does platoon. Oh, well, he knows where the enemy is, and now he's just got to drive back to his own cap to collect his medal and wipe out the enemy artillery. it is possible, theoretically possible, that the Gorilla could wipe the Tiger 131 out. I say it's theoretically possible. He has got a 15cm howitzer. But seriously, I don't believe that he's going to damage or do 254 hit points of damage unless he gets a direct hit on a weak spot. So it looks to me like that Gorilla is in for a last stand. In fact, what he could have done is he could have hidden, waited to the for the Tiger 131 to come into sight, and then lobbed a few shells at him and kept running away. But instead he elected to cap, and now he's going to get wiped out. Oh dear. Well, he's probably hiding behind a wreck. Yep, he is hiding behind a wreck. Hello, Mr. Gorilla. And the first shot goes in but doesn't kill him. He's going to the aim. At least he's going to get something out of it. Oh, he doesn't. And that is a Vespucci's medal, a Radley Walters, and the game. And he didn't platoon. Here's the end of battle stats, and despite the fact that he didn't platoon and pick up that crucial contribution right at the end as well, he did get a lot of medals in this game. JarJarDerps picked up an ace tanker in that game, the only one on his team left alive at the end. He got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. He got 10. He got a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and a Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy tanks or more. He got a very unusual medal here, the Aslains medal. I've had a few of these in Arty, actually, where I've been firing into the cap and keep resetting it. You can only get one if you destroy at least 4 enemy vehicles whilst they're attempting to capture the base in one battle. They have to be within the base circle, and the vehicles must be attempting to capture the base all at once or sequentially. And yes, it can be a lot of fun, especially when you've got 4 tanks capping and you're trying to reset, and well, only 3 of them are actually capping at any one time. But it's difficult because when you reset one, the other one that's probably in there starts his cap, and then you have to find another one to reset. But he also managed to get a Radley Walters medal. In fact, he got 9 kills, which is 1 short of getting a Pools medal out of that game. He couldn't get a Pools because there just wasn't enough enemies left to kill. He got a Vespucci's for killing the M44 as well as the Gorilla right at the end. And a High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. A Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. A Steel Wall for blocking the most damage in the game. And on top of all that, he picked up a defender. Well, he probably picked up about 2 or 3 defenders, actually, because, of course, the enemy was capping with 3 at any one time. And of course, he kept resetting them all. His win rate from that game, 24,167. That's a pretty impressive score. That's Super Unicum and a lot more. Let's have a look at team score. The highest damage was 4,441. The next highest scorer, the guy who actually offered to platoon, actually got 2,400 hit points. And the third highest in the game turned out to be the Tiger 131 on the enemy team, 1,556. It certainly did help that it was a tier 6 game. If it had been a tier 7, I think that may have made it more difficult for JarJar to actually win. When it came to kills, he easily scored more than everyone else, 3 times more than everyone else. He got 9 kills. 3 kills went to the Jagdpanzer IV on his own team, and to the Tiger 131 and BK 2801-105 on the enemy team. And that guy also got a Vespucci's because he killed both of our Arty. And when it came to base XP, look at this, over 2,000, 2,029. You rarely see that. And in fact, the next highest player had less than half of that because he had under a 1,000, and that was the Jagdpanzer IV with 986. So it just goes to show how OP this was and how good JarJarDerps is when he's in the Tiger 131. The next highest score after that, look at this, was only 579 in 3rd place, the Jackson, the guy who stayed alive long enough for the TOG 2 to take him out. But yes, that's very impressive. That is the 3rd highest XP on this game, and yet the highest one was nearly 4 times the level he had. Yeah, that is very, very strong indeed. 46 rounds fired. Well, you get a fairly high ammo capacity in this tank. It's 92 rounds, so it is a lot. So yes, he didn't really break a sweat on that. 30 direct hits on the enemy, 25 penetrations. He was having difficulty trying to get that Stug because he couldn't see that the Stug was actually hiding behind the wreck of the gorilla. And it only became apparent when you actually drove closer and then you could see the wreck. 4,441 hit points, of which 2,337 were at more than 300 meters. So he was doing a lot of long-range shooting and trying to keep out of the way of the enemy's guns. 15 hits received, 5 of which penetrated, 8 non-penetrations, and 3 hits by way of splash damage. In fact, the enemy gorilla was actually being quite effective, even right up until he was taken out in the cap. He was planting rounds which were doing significant damage. 1,045 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 10 enemy vehicles damaged, and 9 killed. Just missed out on that, pools. 406 hit points of damage assist. I think that may be spotting. And 100 defense points. Well, it only goes up to 100, but I reckon that's probably a 300 defense points in total because, of course, he did reset the cap so many times. On a premium count, he actually earned a profit in that game of 50,154 credits. Yes, the ammo costs are quite high. Did use the premium ammo. He also got 30 bonds for a mission achievement. And he took away 16,132 experience points out of that one for getting a mission completion. And quite an impressive one at that. So a very, very good game there by JarJarDerps. Congratulations on getting so many medals. It would have been one more medal, as I said. You would have got a crucial contribution if you'd offered to accept that platoon from the Jagdpanzer IV and maybe somebody else. I think that would have been a nice consolation prize for him because, after all, you won the game, but he did put up the next best performance afterwards. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.